Very good morning to all of you, children. Today we will start a new chapter, the human eye and colorful world. So, as you know, human eye is a very important organ. It helps us to see the object around us. So, how it works, what are the important parts of human eye, and how does it work? This topic we will discuss today in detail. So first we will draw a level diagram of human eye. It is not so difficult. So first you start drawing with me. So let us draw a eye lens first. So draw a eye lens, then draw the ciliary muscles. Like this. So these are the ciliary muscles. Then in ciliary muscles, in front of it we have assembly of dark muscles. These are known as iris. These are the dark muscles. Now the outermost portion of the eye is known as cornea. So roughly we have drawn the diagram of human eye. Then you have to label it. So there is a gap in between the eyes. This is known as pupil. And these dark muscles are known as iris. The outermost portion of the eye, which is bulging outwards, is known as cornea. And islands. Then this space, the space between cornea and islands, is filled with a liquid. This liquid is known as aqueous humor. Then these two are ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles help us in accommodation. We will discuss now what accommodation is. Then behind the islands we have the retina. All the images are formed on retina. So this portion is retina. Retina acts as a screen. Then this is optic nerve. Eye is connected with brain via optic nerve, and the space between islands and retina, this space is filled with another liquid. This liquid is known as vitreous humor. And somewhere here we have a dark spot. It means if any image formed here, then we are not able to see it. So this is all about human eye. So first of all, look at the diagram, because if you have to write the working of human eye and its parts, so you will discuss in this way. You will write the outermost portion of the eye, which is bulging outwards, is known as cornea. Behind cornea there is a eyelens, and eyelens is held in its position with the help of ciliary muscles. This eyelens is held in its position with the help of ciliary muscles. Now you can think in this way. Suppose this is eyelens. Eyelens is convex and ciliary muscles are attached with it. Suppose these are ciliary muscles. So when you have to see nearby objects, the ciliary muscles contract. When you have to see nearby objects, the ciliary muscles contract. So if the ciliary muscle compress the eyelens, the thickness of eyelens increases. And if the thickness increases, a thick lens has short focal length, so you are able to see nearby objects. Now when you have to see far off objects, the ciliary muscles stretch, relax, stretch the eyelens. So when it stretches the eyelens, the lens becomes thin, and a thin lens has large focal length, so you are able to see far off objects. So function of ciliary muscles are very important because it provides accommodation. With the help of ciliary muscles, we can change the focal length of eyelens and we can see nearby objects as well as far off objects. Now near the ciliary muscles, we have assembly of dark muscles. These dark muscles are known as iris. The dark muscles are known as iris, and there is a small hole at the center of the iris, this hole, and this is known as pupil. Pupil controls the amount of light entering in our eyes. If you are in a strong sun, the size of pupil is very small, and you might have feel that suppose you entered into a dark room or in a cinema hall from outside, for few seconds everything appears dark to you, and gradually the size of pupil increases, more light enters in your eyes, then things are visible to you. So it controls the amounts of light entering in our eyes. Now the space between eye lens and this cornea is filled with a liquid. This liquid is known as aqueous humor. Now behind the eye lens, all the images are formed on retina. So retina acts as a screen. Now retina is a very sensitive part of human eye. There are millions of cells in retina, photosensitive cells. Photosensitive cells, it means when light falls on it, they are activated. So some cells are rod-shaped cells. Some cells are rod-shaped, like this, and some cells are cone-shaped. Now rod-shaped cells are responsible for the brightness and the size, and you can judge whether the object is two-dimensional or three-dimensional with the help of these rod-shaped cells. And some cells are cone-shaped. So these cone-shaped cells are responsible for color of the object. We are able to see the objects in their usual color with the help of these cone-shaped cells. So retina is a very sensitive part. It consists of millions of cells. Some cells are rod-shaped and some are cone-shaped. And as I said, the rod-shaped cells are responsible for the size, brightness of the object, and the cone-shaped cells are responsible for color of the object. Now this is optic nerve. So the eye is connected with brain via optic nerve. Now suppose there is an object in front of our eye. Suppose there is a tree. Now I am discussing how does it works. Suppose there is a tree. So this is a convex lens, and we have seen that in convex lens generally images are real and inverted. So an inverted image of this tree is formed here. On retina, an inverted image of this tree will form like this. Inverted image of this tree will form. And this image is transmitted to brain via optic nerve. And it is brain who re-invert this image. So inverted image is inverted again, then it will be erect. And brain also calculate the size, actual size of the object, so that we are able to see the objects in their usual form. So this is all about human eye, that how does it work. But you must remember the functions of various parts. For example, the ciliary muscles are very important. The pupil, cornea. Cornea is the part through which light enters in our eyes. Pupil controls the amount of light in our entering in our eyes. Then the function of retina and the function of optic nerve. And there is a spot, dark spots under here. If an image is formed here, so we are not able to see. That's why its name is dark spot. So I think a dictation is not needed for it. You can write about it, that about the important parts of human eye, as I have explained, and how does it works, how we are able to see the objects. You once go through the book, you read it carefully 2-3 times, and then you are able to write about it. One thing more, that the diameter is actually, this is diagram of eyeball. This is diagram of eyeball, and size of eyeball is about 2.3 centimeter. The diameter of eyeball is about 2.3 centimeter. This diameter. Now some of the terms are very important. So we will discuss power of accommodation, then far point and near point. These terms are important terms. So first term, power of accommodation. Power of accommodation. Power of accommodation means the ability of eye lens to see nearby objects as well as far off objects by changing the focal length of eye lens is known as power of accommodation. So write about it. Write the ability of eye lens. The ability of eye lens to see nearby objects as well as far off objects, far off objects, by adjusting its focal length. Is called power of accommodation. Then another important term is near point. Or least distance of distinct vision. Near point or least distance of distinct vision. So least distance or near point is the minimum distance up to which human eye can see an object clearly without putting an strain, isn't it? And this distance is 25 centimeter. You can also say that yes, objects are seen when they are closer than 25 centimeter. Yes, objects are seen when they are very close to the eye, but in that case you have to put strain in your eyes. So without putting in any strain, the minimum distance up to which we can see the object clearly, that is near point. So write a definition for it. Write the minimum distance at which object can be seen most clearly without strain, is called the least distance of distinct vision. Now for normal healthy eye, vision, this or you can say near point is 25 centimeter. For normal vision, near point, it means for normal healthy eye, the near point is 25 centimeter. Then third term is far point. Think what will be the far point of normal healthy eye? Far point is infinity. We are able to see far off objects. We are able to see even the sun and the stars which are infinite distance from us. So we can say that the far point of normal healthy eye is infinity. And write a definition for it. Write the farthest point up to which the eye can see objects. The farthest point up to which the eye, eye, can see objects clearly is called the far point. Is called the far point of the eye. And you also mention it is infinity for normal eye. Far point is infinity for normal eye. So these are the important terms related with human eye. Now we will discuss some of the questions. For example, question number page 198. Page 198. NCERT, page 198, question number 8. Question number 8 is, why is a normal eye not able to see clearly the objects placed closer than 25 centimeter? Why is a normal eye not able to see clearly the objects placed closer than 25 centimeter? So write a answer for it. Write down at a distance, write at a distance less than 25 centimeter. At a distance less than 25 centimeter, the ciliary muscles cannot bulge the eyelids, bulge, bulge the eyelids anymore, comma, the object cannot be focused on the retina. The object cannot be focused on the retina and appears hazy to the eye, or you can say blurred to the eye, and appears hazy, you can write slash, blurred to the eye. So this is one important question. Then question number 9 is also important. Question number 9 is, what happens to the image distance in the eye when we increase the distance of an object from the eye? So as you will think, in human eye, as you have drawn the diagram, the distance between eye lens and retina is fixed. We cannot change this distance, eye lens and retina, distance between eye lens and retina. So whatever be the position of object, the eye lens just change its thickness with the help of ciliary muscles, and all the images are formed on retina. We can't change image distance. So write a answer for it. Write down the image distance remains same. The image distance remains same, comma, equal to the distance of the retina, from the eye, from the eye lens. Next sentence, the change in object distance is compensated. The change in object distance is compensated by the change in the focal length of the eye lens. The change in object distance is compensated by the change in the focal length of the eye lens due to the action of ciliary muscles. So that a clear image so that a clear image is formed on the same retina. So that a clear image is formed on the same retina. Then we have some objective questions. For example, on page 197, question number 1, the human eye can focus objects at different distances by adjusting the focal length of the eye lens. This is due to there are 4 options: presbyopia, accommodation, nearsightedness, and farsightedness. Although we have not studied about the defects of vision, next class we will discuss about it. But human eye can focus objects at different distances by adjusting the focal length of eye lens. This is due to accommodation. So second option is correct. Now question number 2, the human eye forms the image of an object at its 4 options are cornea, iris, pupil and retina. So the 4th option is correct, that is retina. Now third question, the least distance of distinct vision for a young adult for normal vision is about 25 meter, 2.5 centimeter, 25 centimeter and 2.5 meter. So as we have discussed now, so least distance is 25 centimeter. Then question number 4, the change in focal length of an eye lens is caused by the action of options are pupil, retina, ciliary muscles, iris. So what will be the answer? Change in focal length of eye lens is caused by the action of ciliary muscles. Now in next class we will discuss a very important topic, that is defect of vision. Now giving these questions, page 190, you will solve question number 1 and 3. Must go through it. All questions are important. So page 190, question number 1 and 3. Now children, so far I remember, we have not discussed the objective questions of chapter 1. So let us discuss it on page 185. First question is, which one of the following materials cannot be used to make a lens? The options are water, glass, plastic and clay. So water, glass, plastic all are transparent. So clay is opaque, so we can't use an opaque material to make a lens. So clay will be the answer, the 4th option. Now the second question, the image formed by a concave mirror. The image formed, first option, page 185. Question number 1, correct answer is D. Then The image formed by a concave mirror is observed to be virtual, erect and larger than the object. Where should the position of the object? So in concave mirror we are getting all real inverted image. So obviously it is the last case when object is very close to the mirror between pole and principal focus. So D option, between the pole of the mirror and its principal focus. So question number 2, answer is also D. Now third question, where should an object be placed in front of a convex lens to get a real image of the size of the object? So when we are getting the equal size of image, the size of object and the size of images are equal in which case? Whether it is in case of mirror or in case of a lens, when object is at C, at center of curvature, and center of curvature is twice the focal length. So question number 3, B option is correct. At twice the focal length. At twice the focal length, it means at center of curvature. Then question number 4, a spherical mirror and a thin spherical lens. A spherical mirror and a thin spherical lens have each focal length of minus 15 centimeter. The mirror and the lens are likely to be, so it is based on sign convention. So which mirror has negative focal length? So obviously it is a concave mirror. Concave mirror, the focal length is towards left of the pole, that distance is, so it is concave mirror. And in case of concave lens, that focal length is negative. So first option is correct. So question number 4, first option, that is both concave, both are concave. Now fifth question, no matter how far you stand from a mirror, your image appears erect. The mirror is likely to be, it may be either a plane mirror or a convex mirror, because in convex mirror all the images are virtual and erect. So the D option is the correct option. So 5 answer is D. Then sixth question, which of the following lenses would you prefer to use while reading small letters found in the dictionary? So a convex lens of focal length 50 centimeter, a concave lens. So you have to use a convex lens of focal length 5 centimeter. Obviously convex lenses are used as a magnifying glass. When object is very close to it, we get a magnified view. And now then the two options are left, convex lens of focal length 50 centimeter and convex lens of focal length 5 centimeter. So convex thin lens 5 centimeter focal length. So that will be used for reading the small letters. So C option is correct. Because out of these two lenses, which have more power, 5 centimeter focal length or 50 centimeter focal length? Obviously 5 centimeter. Now, so these are the objective questions mainly. In question number 8, name the type of mirror used in the following situations. Headlight of a car. So in headlight of a car, as you know, concave mirror. Side or rear view mirror of vehicle, convex mirror, and solar furnace, concave mirrors. So in this way we have discussed all the objective questions. In next class we will discuss a very important topic, that is defects of